If you feel like sand through the cracks, or a train headed off the tracks. If you feel that you pay too much tax, waste so much time that you can't get back. When you get knocked down to the floor, like you just can't take anymore. When you get sent back to the start, man.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
the Face-Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
The Face-Off Hockey Show. What? With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
breakaway.
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with the C.
Yeah, baby.
Here's your host for the Face-Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz.
Scotty, you're muted.
I gotta turn my mic on.
There we go.
I'm not used to this because Benny P wants the game.
You always yell at me for that.
Yeah, because usually I'm right in saying that.
It's true. This time I'm right.
This time I'm right. Welcome. It's Face-Off Hockey Show. Johnny is in McCarran International Airport. Mark is in beautiful Bethesda, and I'm sitting here in the home office in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Obviously, this is where we all should be.
Yep. Leahy is going to be screwed when he watches this one.
Well, I think he's just, in general, screwed just because he's pale and it's summertime. But yeah, Johnny, how the hell did you get in Vegas?
I mean, I've been in Vegas for a little while. It's just they decided they didn't want me to go home.
Well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and I guess you happen in Vegas.
I mean, so like if I walk past here, like in this area, there's the Ghostbusters right behind me, right there. I got some slot machines here. You can see them, people.
Are you sure you're allowed to be videotaping the slot machines? I think that's illegal.
Yeah. I can videotape enough to people will be able to see.
He's got that going for him.
There's another slot machine room up here, but it must be I think it's the dirty slots because there's a lot of smoking going on in there.
That's what I noticed in like western airports, like Salt Lake City and Vegas. There's a lot of places for you to duck off and smoke to.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of places in here that you can smoke in.
I don't know why. I don't think that's a good thing. But hey, I guess if you have the ability to, why the hell not, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, since I'm still stuck in here, I'm using their free Wi-Fi, so we'll see how long this lasts.
Well, that'll be interesting. You were there for what? Beach bikini contest?
I was here for a work conference.
That's close.
Yeah,
so,
it could be considered. It is considered work by thousands and thousands of people around our great country.
It's pretty much true, right? Yeah. So yeah, definitely work conference. I did some work over the past 3 days. Now I'm trying to go home and not making it. Although I did get to see the U.S. beat Germany today.
There you go.
And I'm still god-awful with time changes because I got an email that said that the game was at 2:45. And yeah, the game was definitely at 11:45 here. So luckily I was in the airport already and in a bar watching soccer.
How long was your flight? Has your flight been delayed so far?
We were supposed to leave at 2:55 p.m.
Pacific
time. And
or is that Mountain Time? It's Pacific time?
This is Pacific, yeah. It's a 3-hour time change.
How about that?
Yeah, I thought the same thing, Mark. I thought it was Mountain as well.
Well,
are there parts of Nevada in Mountain Time?
There has to be because I thought that it was a 2-hour time change until I got here. But yeah, so 3-hour time change. So we were supposed to leave at 2:55. Now we're leaving at 6:15 p.m., which would put me home back to my house right around 2:30 in the morning.
Nice.
I'll probably still be awake.
Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
What's he got?
Is that you?
Well, do not look after baggage that is not your own. Remember.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, you're
Everybody.
fine.
Don't even look at the bags if they're not yours. Is that what they said?
Yes. Do not covet thy neighbor's bag.
Do not look
believe.
directly into the eye of another bag.
That might be the 12th commandment, actually.
Indeed. West Wendover is which on the Utah-Nevada border, is the only location in Nevada which legally observes Mountain Time. However, the towns of Jackpot, Jarbidge, Mountain City, and Ojai,
Do it illegally?
while all legally within the Pacific Time Zone, locally observe the Mountain Time Zone due to proximity and the stronger connections with towns in nearby Idaho.
So does that mean I can just choose to be on Mountain Time illegally? Is that
Oh,
sort of
you
what
can
that
choose
means?
whatever time you're going to be. The problem is you might be late for meetings or special occasions.
Whatever, it's my time.
That's like when
You can't
that
judge
point,
me based on what time I use.
I
Yeah,
can.
can't you just call discrimination and be like, yo, so I'm not on your time. Why don't you let me know next time? You need
Yeah.
to switch.
You got to send
There
out my
was a-
meeting invite in my time.
There's a TV show called Corner Gas up in Canada. And this one dopey guy actually said, hey, to get ahead of it, I'm going to go ahead and put myself on daylight savings time. And then he further delved into evolution and then I think he ended up sometime in the Atlantic time zone when he was in Saskatchewan. So you can do it. You'll be ridiculed forever, but you can do it. We're not going to stop you.
I'm gonna do it.
All right, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and
Sometimes
do
you
it,
gotta
buddy.
raise.
It's 9:30 for
Are you-
me right now. I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, see you later, bud.
Good luck.
Take her easy, Mark. See you next time. But yeah, Johnny's been in Vegas. I've been watching his house for the most part, and it's been a fun time.
You have been, except for when your adventures occur.
Yeah, when I blow out a tire, that's always a fun time. That was hilarious on Monday night. It's like, oh, I blew out.
What
a
is
tire.
it with
Awesome.
you and car troubles when you're in Maryland?
Shit if I know, brother. This time it was just something where I went ahead and was. I'm trying to figure out what the hell they're saying. Meet him at the gate, for Christ's sake, people. Anyway, I don't
You
know.
don't
I think
how many people in Vegas miss their flights, and I mean by missing flights, like a 4:50 flight time, and they're still not here in the airport.
is that just due to connections or they're fucking lazy?
No, I mean I think that
You couldn't leave the
here.
table.
Yeah.
They're on a hot streak. They can't leave this machine. Yeah, I don't know what it is with me and cars. I was driving back from a dinner with friends in Annapolis on Monday, and next thing you know, as I was driving back, just as I hit on 97 off of 5301, I get a warning on Stan's dashboard saying low PSI. Went from 39 PSI to 24 to 1. I'm like, uh-oh, better fix this. So I went ahead and went to the corner, got it fixed, and then Stan went and bought a new tire got the tire fixed. Now it's all hunky-dory again. I had to use the dart for.
I thought you were going to say that Stan went and bought a new car.
Kinda. He was thinking about it. He was down there at Tate Dodge, and I'm sure he was thinking about it. But I got to use the dart for a day, so that was a fun time.
Nice.
Yeah, it was all right. The problem was it had the baby seats in the back for my nieces, so that's a little. I'm like, wow, this car doesn't look that cool anymore. It's got baby seats in the back. It's terrible. So there you go, Mark. How's your week? Were you traveling anywhere?
I actually was not traveling all that much. So I was actually well rested this weekend. Kind of shocking, I know. What did I do this weekend? We had a wedding. John and I had another cousin's wedding. But it was up in just north of Baltimore in Towson. Well, really Bel Air.
Yeah,
Bel Air.
it's pretty close to Bel Air.
Yeah. So it wasn't far. Therefore, I did not need to spend the night or fly or drive long distances anywhere. I was able to sleep in my own bed, which is very nice. So, all in all, good weekend. Good weekend. Whenever you get to sleep in your own bed, I chalk that up as a win.
Big win.
Have you jumped all over John's things, like his bed?
No, I haven't. Just sat there. I've been on the couch and just hanging out in the couch in the guest room and back to the couch, the toilet. The normal things.
Of course, shower,
door.
right?
Well, yeah, shower too.
That's good.
So maybe took a tub. I had a soak.
Nice.
I had to take a soak.
There
are
there are like 40 people right now that think that I'm crazy.
What, for talking
they're playing
into a machine?
Yeah, for walking around with the machine and talking to people.
Well, the fact of the matter is there's a lot of people who do that in the airport anyway, but they're not carrying an iPad with them. So I think that could be the
right. And how do they know I'm
about.
not crazy?
That's true. Well, that hasn't been proven yet, so you're correct, absolutely.
See,
they may be right.
Yeah.
Maybe crazy.
See, look at all of this memorabilia that you could get. Las Vegas coffee mugs right there. Everybody needs a coffee mug from Vegas.
How much Elvis stuff is there?
So I heard a funny stat this week.
Is it advanced?
And I don't. It's kind of advanced, actually.
It's Elvis per 20-mile capita.
It said in 1945 or something like that, there was only one Elvis, and then in like 1985 or something, there were like 4,300 Elvis or something like that. And then in 2006 was the last time they took a census of the number of Elvis impersonators, and it said that there were like 49,000 Elvis or something like that now in the United States. Now, the guy could be picking all of this up, unless Scotty's looking up for me right now. And he says, in like 2025, that the statistics would say that 1 in 3 people would be Elvis impersonators. And he's like, look to the person to the left of you, and look to the person to the right of you. If neither of them look like Elvis, you're the person.
Nice.
Nice. I like that.
This Elvis epidemic is rampant.
I want to know if you have to register as an Elvis. Like, how do they keep tabs of this?
I think it's more self-identifying as an Elvis. If you self-identify as an Elvis.
You would have to, though.
Yeah.
You'd have to tell people that you're an Elvis impersonator. You can't just show up and start impersonating other people.
Well, what if you're really good at multiple impersonations? You have to pick one? That doesn't seem right.
Well, maybe you register more than one. I don't know. You can be more than one person. That's Scotty.
I've made a career out of it. It's called broadcasting. So apparently, according to the Naked Scientist, so you know it's fresh.
Yeah.
In 2007, they said that at the rate of growth, 2019, Elvis impersonators will make up a third of the world's population.
That's is that based on population growth?
That's based on 85,000 impersonators in 2007, compared to 170 in 1957 when he died. Wait, he didn't die in 57, did he?
That seems early. I want to say he died in like the 70s, or maybe early 80s, maybe even early 80s.
Yeah. Elvis Presley. I wonder if Elvis Presley has a nice little thing about himself. Yeah, he died in 77, not 57. Good work, Naked Scientist. Get some clothes on and get your facts straight.
Yeah. Cheers.
Tired of this bullshit. Anyway. Anything else exciting happen to you, Mark?
No, I'm very boring.
That's good. Johnny, how was anything to add about your conference?
Well, I will add. I'll give a shout out to the Enrico Palazzo. They were quite nice to me. I asked them to take the feather pillows off of out of the room because, as anybody that's listened to the show knows, that me and feather pillows do not work well together. So they literally sent up a 4-foot by 4-foot air purifier and left it in my room for the entire stay that I was there. gave me all new like foam pillows and hypoallergenic towels and like all this stuff. So it was pretty cool actually.
That's pretty dope. You're gonna when you go back there in a couple months, you're gonna stay there. You got a guy there now.
I left the suggestion in the suggestion box that they should have more Leslie Nielsen impersonators.
Perfect. You know, that's going to make up at least a fourth of the population of that hotel when you come back next time.
Just in Canada. I feel like that's more of a Canada thing.
But, I mean, the place is called the Palazzo. How do you not have an Enrico Palazzo walking around?
It's true. This is the second Enrico Palazzo reference I've heard today.
Did he save the Queen?
No, I heard about, they were talking about the no-hitter that the Giants guy threw yesterday. I think it was Dan Le Batard's show, or Around the Horn, or one of the Sports Center Talking Head show. They said, it's nice that he threw a no-hitter, but the umpire had an Enrico Palazzo-sized strike zone by the end of the game. So I'm like, yeah, I guess that's a good reference there, champ. By the way, that highly questionable with Dan Le Batard is an awkward show to watch.
I have a friend that produces that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. What's his name? He went to Ottawa with us. Whatever. The hell.
Did he?
I think he did.
No,
I
don't think Peach went to. Peach didn't go to Ottawa with us.
Well, who the hell am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Wilcox?
Wilcox?
Yeah, Wilcox. There it is.
It wasn't Wilcox.
Okay.
But it's Peach. You might have also met my buddy Peach.
Mm,
Maggie, get to your gate, Maggie.
Get to your gate, Maggie. I'm tired of this garbage out of you.
See? Everybody should do the show from the airport.
I guess. I don't know. Like at this time of night, BWI is dead anyway, so I could do it there pretty easy.
This place is dead anyway.
I mean, they have an observation deck. You can just hang out there and chill in these nice little chairs there. They got rocking chairs. They got comfy chairs. It's pretty fantastic up there on the observation deck.
Yes.
What are you
Mom
observing?
is walking toward me.
What's that?
My mom might want to be on the show too. She's walking toward me. See, there's my mom.
Hello?
29-time state champion.
That's right.
Yep.
Lynn Batanza.
She's getting in her laps because we've been here for a while.
Yeah, no, I would say that's you have to get your laps in.
Here's another great thing too. Apparently, my Nike fuel band does not switch from Eastern Standard Time unless I like plug it into a computer or something. So the last 3 nights, my fuel band has been like, "Wow, it is awesome. You've been working out from midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning a lot."
That's awesome.
Silly fuel band.
I won trophies for being a party animal and for working the night shift.
Wow.
Kid. There you go.
That's what they call it.
Yep. No, that was working at night shift.
Oh, my bad.
That's completely different.
Here's the thing: if you would have plugged in your computer when it sensed you're in Las Vegas, they would have gave you a lot more trophies.
That's true. Yep. Very true.
Somebody would have sent you a message to put 25 on red for him.
Exactly.
From Nike.
From Nike.
Exactly. The guy, the owner of Oregon, and I just put it all on red. Or make another Ducks jersey. It'll compensate all the losses. There you go. Good times.
This is 2 times though in the last 3 weeks that the iPads come through for the show.
In the clutch, iPad. Look at you. You're hungry. But it's better this way because otherwise you would have been on a plane and unable to join us unless you got the Wi-Fi. And,
yeah, that's not worth it.
Yeah. Plus, it probably would have looked really weird. Welcome to the airport like that.
Now, I guess just a whole bunch of people are going to be asleep on the plane because, yeah.
Hate to be the son of a bitch who had a connecting flight today.
Luckily, I'm smart enough to not be working the rest of the week.
Genius.
There you go. See, that's always what happens to me. Las Vegas seems like the kind of place that shouldn't really be affected by delays. Are you flight 1440?
No, we are flight 409.
She's real fine.
It's nice and clean on that plane, I bet.
Yep, sure it is. So I don't know if I said this on the air or if I just told Scotty beforehand, but what occurred was that the flight to San Diego, they commandeered our flight when it got here. So they wanted to go to San Diego. They switched the flights. The people from Baltimore, they were like, you got to stay, which I don't know. I figured we had a decent enough reputation right now that most people that you would want to have to stay anywhere are people from Baltimore.
It's true.
So,
But it's
But
also,
yeah.
at the same time, it's also Vegas. How much more trouble can you get into, aside from the rioting?
well, that's what I mean. What are they going to
Yeah,
send
but-
us to the desert?
No, they're gonna send the Elvis Army after you.
There you go.
Oh, no. That's bad.
Hey there, man.
They've got
Man,
their
you-
own National Guard.
Man, you don't want me. I'll just taekwondo. And then does something like that. He does a karate kick, and it's good times.
Yes,
Something like
well,
that. I don't know.
I'm,
hell with it.
I'm stuck here with like all of my bosses, and I think there's like 6 people or so that are from my company that are stuck here. So should be fun.
You have a nice view of dark nothingness when you're flying over. So there you go.
Yep. True
You
story.
get a
Although
little sleep though. They usually
I'll give
shut
it-
the planes off on those flights.
They shut the planes
Shut
off.
the planes off. They
They
just
shut the
why
entire
did
plane
they
off.
shut
Yeah,
the
they shut the
plane off?
lights off. They shut the planes off. The other planes off, so you can't see them out the window. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
They're very considerate of what this
That's very
cross-country
nice.
flights.
Yeah. I'll give an early shout out though, since I probably won't be on the show at the end, to my Oakley Thumps that are still kicking. 4 hours of music time I got
Nice.
out of them on the flight over.
Well done.
They have to be like 10 years old.
All you need to do is you need to drain them completely, like you said, and then plug them in before you need them so that they charge fully up, and you're good to go.
Yep.
Tremendous.
They do a good job. So I haven't seen any of the Stanley Cup finals, but a lot of the people in Vegas liked watching the NBA finals.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of money on the line and a lot of crooked referees. So you have a very good chance of making some money and having an inside deal on it.
Very
And
true.
the breakout player is Australian, so he's already a criminal. So it's
Double
not surprising
whammy.
he's not. It's not surprised he's leading the series in steals.
All right, Letterman.
hey, you got any gum? We were doing that all
I
weekend
like
in
how
Raleigh.
Scotty can take the microphone from his mouth now, and he can
Yeah.
do the other voices.
Exactly. I don't have to talk about the ladies the entire time. Jesus. It's good to have a microphone I can move away from myself. I'll go on my weekend if you
Yes, I want to hear
make it
all
happen.
about your weekend, Scotty. Let's
Well, my
hear about
weekend
it.
and into my week, all kinds of fun stuff. So the weekend, the primary objective for being down here is my buddy G Money's wedding. So after I got in on Thursday night, I did the NASCAR show from the Palatial Studios. Johnny came home from his shindig that night, and he went to bed promptly. I came upstairs, saw everything was off, and like, all right, grabbed my computer, went into the guest room, and away we went. That morning, woke up, drove 5 hours to Raleigh to attend this wedding. And I have to say,
Hold
Virginia-
on. Isn't Raleigh an 8-hour drive?
no,
He was saying you were speeding.
no, the Google Maps gave me 4.5 hours. I got caught in
Oh.
traffic, made it 5.
That is
Wow.
horseshit.
Wow. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Continue.
Well, no. By the time you get North Carolina, the speed limit's like 87. So there you go. So I got caught in traffic from Dale City to Fredericksburg, but after that, it was a nice, smooth ride down to Raleigh. Friday night welcome committee. I got to meet the bride to be for the first time. Actually, that's a lie. I'll get to that story in a bit. But got there Friday, did a welcoming thing. Saturday woke up, and then it was wedding time. That's where the magic happens. The good old wedding at the Baptist church, which not the good Baptist church where it's like Def Jam, the weird Baptist church where it's white people singing. So that was a good time, awesome time, nice meeting people around there. Then the reception at the North Carolina Museum of History, which for a place that had an open bar was very dangerous to have it at. But lo and behold, we didn't wreck it too much. There were NASCARs out on display. There was good food. There was all kinds of crazy crap on the walls. It was like a TGI Fridays minus the
All the flair.
Yeah, all the flair without the tchotchkes.
Or was there Ric Flair? You were in Raleigh, North Carolina, after all.
We did that a couple times walking down the street home drunk. Cut a promo or two. And then after the party, it was the after party at the hotel lobby bar. And that's where I met the bride for the first time and introduced myself to her. So, I just better late than ever, right?
So who did you meet the first time then?
What's that? I just met people I thought they said they knew her. I'm like, oh.
Did she have a bride impersonator at the rehearsal?
That's good. A stunt double.
Like a
20% of people who get married in Raleigh are actually impersonating the bride to be.
By 2026, 1/3 of all people are going to be
impersonating
a bride to be.
There you go. Then Monday happened, where I got, like I said, I had a little blowout in my car, flat tire.
Yeah, specify.
Driving home, had lunch with a friend in the Bernie, went bowling, and then had lunch with other friends in Annapolis. Coming home from Annapolis, a dive bar down there called the Ebb Tide. I drove back as I was getting on 97. Pop goes the tire because the tire goes pop. And sat on the roadside right as that torrential downpour thunderstorm happened. So I'm sitting in my car. I'm like, well, at least I'm in a safe place. I'm near woods, a metal guardrail, and in my car. I'm pretty sure this will end up very good for me.
Very good.
Very good. So that happened, and then Tuesday was a day. That was something wherein I go ahead and I meet for the first time the person who gave birth to me.
Yay! How did that go?
Went well. She lives out in Canton.
Looked like you guys were having a good time.
It was a nice drunken time, that's for darn sure. Went, met her mother, my birth grandmother, and went ahead and just hung out and did our thing. Went across Canton and went a lot of pubs, Wharf Rat, the Cat Eye pub, some other pubs where I got to build my own burger. It's like a Fuddruckers, but with beer. Although I think Fuddruckers has beer too. But anyway.
They do have beer, actually.
So yeah, went all in around Fells Point and hung out with her and met the extended family and the friends and everybody there. It was a good time had by all. It was fun. It was an experience. Going into it, I didn't have much. I didn't think about it all that much. I knew it would be an interesting situation, hey, it turned out it exceeded my no expectations. So that's always good, I guess.
Good.
That is good.
Yeah.
That's better than being disappointed.
Exactly. We're saying, these things happen. No, it was a good time, really cool. And then, in November, I think there's going to be a big family bash, and they're going to come up in October or something. It's a big thing, and then good. It's intertwining the families, having the birth and the adoptive, and putting them all together in one big happy family, as it were. So it was a cool outing. It was December? So 7 months in the making. Working pretty quick, but that's how I do's. And Tuesday came, Tuesday left, and here we are. It's Wednesday, like it's supposed to be, And here we are doing a show live in the studio.
Yep.
This is the third radio show I've done today.
Wow,
you're a broadcasting fiend.
I finally got around to doing the Farm Report podcast. Then I taped something for the NASCAR show on KPSI, News Talk 920 in beautiful Palm Springs, California. And now I'm doing this shingading. And it's a hoot and a holler.
KPSI. Was that picked for a reason?
No, it was actually just the what the FCC gave that radio station.
And is it a NASCAR show station?
It's in the draft of Wilson and Wands on KPSI, 3 to 4 p.m.
That's awesome.
Saturday.
KPSI.
But Scotty's part didn't have any PSI earlier.
The side part didn't have any PSI, so I had to make sure I got PSI. So I taped something and sent it to Todd.
What do you measure air density in Canada? Clearly not PSI.
KMSI.
That's too many letters.
I know.
And it's not. It can't be per inch.
It can't be.
Pounds per square inch is
You understand-
psi.
You understand we still use we use pounds up there too, right? Like you understand, like that's like we don't use
Grams?
As soon as you
We use
cross the
grams,
line,
yeah.
you're
I
not
thought
allowed.
it was. What is it? Something per gram. Damn. Or pounds. What is the equivalent?
What is it? A gram or kilogram per centimeter?
kilogram per square centimeter. That's a lot of letters. Tire pressure in Canada. Not in summer, stupid. Don't need this garbage. When do I check my air pressure? Of course, I'll go there. Canada, what are you doing? They still use PSI according to Canadian.
Well, that's not. You gotta pick. You gotta pick one or the other.
Go fuck yourself. We don't have to pick shit. I'll tell you when to pick, and that's never.
You can't just go all willy-nilly like, oh, well, this version's better because it's better numbers, so we're going to go. It's like, but no, we're going to go with Celsius for this one. I
Yeah,
see.
because only 5 countries use Fahrenheit.
Yeah, and how many countries use PSI?
27. I really don't know, actually.
Yeah, I rest
Hey,
my
what-
case.
Your case on what?
Whatever, it's rested. Whatever it is.
Oh, we use kilopascals.
There you go. I knew there was one. Kilopascals. I should have known that. I knew
1
that in school.
PSI equals 7.89475729 kilopascals.
I knew that when I was
Jesus.
in school.
So does that mean that you pump your tires up to like 128 kilopascals?
239.
And then you pump up the jams.
Pump it up. Get the party starting? I don't know. This mellow yellow is affecting my brain.
Ooh, actually sounds really good right now.
Yeah.
John, are
Have you
you
had
able to
any
get Mellow
closers?
Yellow out there?
No, I was not able to get Mellow Yellow. I did have. I had a 9.5% Russian Imperial Stout called Rasputin.
Wow.
Das Cube?
Rasputin.
Rasputin. Yeah. So dinner on Tuesday night, I had one of the companies take us out to dinner, and we ended up with filet mignon and lobster and Rasputin, and we ate at Emerald Lagasse's restaurant in the Plaza.
Very nice.
I'm big time, man.
You're a big man with Enrico Palazzo's place in Guy Fieri. Did you go to a Guy Fieri joint? That would have been great if you did.
No.
Should have been. Why didn't you? You should have just
No
gone
Guy.
ahead and...
No guys here.
Oh, come on, buddy. Give me a little Guy Fieri on this jam. Come on, buddy. Children
Is that
everywhere.
a
My hair's not
child?
blonde enough. Yes. It is, actually.
Get him on the show.
I think we have to pixelize their face. Let's not do that.
Okay.
We're gonna get them sign some contracts and stuff like that. By the way, so went
I'm
to the
interested
mall.
to see where this is going.
Went to the Marley Mall today. And there's just signs everywhere. Just make sure your kids are chaperoned. Apparently,
Leashed.
if you're
Curb your kid.
if you're under 21, you can't be there without a parent 15 feet away from you. I'm like, first off, it's Marley Station. Who's really gonna go there except people who really don't care about which movie they watch in a shitty theater? And if they
Yeah,
want
that movie's
more,
awful. Or the theater's awful.
yeah, and if you want more anti-ans per square footage than any other place in America, Marley Station is the place to be. There is literally one whole wing of Marley Station that has nothing in it. I'm like, well, why don't we just destroy this place right now? We'll just the hell with it. There's no stores within 15 feet, so the hell with it. Bomb the whole thing, and we'll start over again. We'll start from the lids and go forward. Whatever.
I'm in.
That should be your platform when you run for Glen Burnie City
That's
Council.
true.
Mayor of Glen Burnie, let's be like, listen,
Yeah.
I will blow this son of a bitch up really good.
Did you file your paperwork while you were home?
I'll get it tomorrow.
What you could do is you could get lids to sponsor you, and on the back of the hats, right, we'll start with the lids and go from there. You just
There you
hand
go.
it out to people.
There it is. Start from the lids and go from there. 4 more years. 4 more years. I wonder if they'd be like, all right, well, we're gonna have a mayoral vote. No one else ran. Here's the keys to the city. I mean, this is just a crowbar. Yeah, well, you know.
Well, good luck. Do you want the Slim Jim too?
Can I snap into it? No, it's not that kind of Slim Jim, sir. Damn it. Yeah, Glen Burnie's Valor, remember it. It's how I left it in February, but much warmer. Wait, like grossly, there it is, that's a word. Grossly warmer than where I left it. Way too muggy. I don't know how this is actually a thing. How is this place a thing?
Did you turn the air conditioning on in the house?
He's going to crush you when you get home, wasting all that electricity.
Actually, no, I did. I haven't touched anything except for the fan in the guest room.
That fan's fantastic, though, isn't it?
It's a pretty tremendous fan, I'm not going to lie to you. Pretty damn tremendous. But yeah, that's been a lifesaver sleeping overnight, that's for sure. It's like, oh god, the fan's so good. What I don't like is there's some kind of construction or building or some garbage outside the guest room window. I'm like, well, this is bullshit.
What?
There's something. I hear some metal banging and pile driving and whatever. So it's either construction or the Undertaker's just giving people tombstones. I don't know which is which.
Wow, I did not know that was occurring.
Well, you're
They
probably never.
sent it to me in a letter.
You're probably never here when it starts either. So it's like I don't hear it. It doesn't happen. Oh right.
Yeah. I'm also seriously contemplating all the houses that I went to outside. The other thing, I did mention that we saw Michelle and Aunt Linda, and, like that whole crew, right, Mark?
Yeah, Mom mentioned that. That's awesome.
So when we went to their house, all of the houses out here, the front and backyards are just stone. So I was thinking about just turning my backyard into stone.
You should.
Might make
Very,
it a lot
very
easier
easy to
work.
upkeep.
Yeah, definitely. And the water just makes this stone smoother. So when it rains on top of it, you're just getting better stone.
That's sound reasoning right there.
I mean, makes sense to me.
Why haven't you done this already?
I don't know.
Should I start tilling up the land?
Yes. Maybe that's what they're doing in my backyard.
Till up the land for the stones. Then you hear start me up in the background. Not those stones.
All right.
Good times.
I think I'm gonna head out.
I'm gonna head out on this pony.
We still have another hour before we're supposed to be leaving, but I think we're boarding soon.
All right.
Gotta like that.
So-
Gotta like how efficient they are with the boarding process.
Yep. So have
Anyway.
fun with everything. I give a shout out to Lyle. I said hi. I give a shout out to his beard. It looks fantastic. And shout out to Leahy, because as of this point, we're basically playing a shell game with Leahy. Next week, who knows? Maybe Mark will be at my house.
It's true.
Well, we all know that's not gonna happen.
right.
But
I'll be home soon, Scotty.
yeah, okay. I'll leave the light on for you. I'll be like Motel 6. Be like Motel 6. I'll leave the light on for you. Why'd you leave the light on? You're wasting electricity. Why don't you call your mother? All right, Johnny.
All right.
Safe
See you
travels,
guys.
brother.
Yeah. Peace.
Are you going to be able to get Lyle on when the time is appropriate to do so?
I'm pretty sure I will. I hope so.
Thanks for sending me the invite.
I did. Sent it to you twice.
Didn't. I didn't get it. I did
That's
not.
not my problem.
I
It's your
did not
problem.
get an invite.
Sent it to you twice.
Well, you never emailed it to me. I had to wait for John to send me. I had to find it myself, actually.
Exactly. Guess
So
what?
thanks to you.
He's the producer. I'm the host. And I let him produce things. I just sit here and talk and shill. Talk and shill is what I. That's actually my platform. Talk
Yeah.
and shill. It's the new talk show I'm doing called Talk and Shill. It's gonna be a good time. No, I sent it to you and Johnny twice. Johnny was able to find it, so I don't know what your problem was.
Well, I got in. It just took me a while. I haven't had to find it that way in a long time.
It's funny because the process used to be you get it through the email that you're gonna have. You know, you have something there that you've been invited to an event, and that's how
Yeah.
Johnny got it this time. And
To email.
What the email? But yeah, apparently this time was just a garbage for everyone. But hey, we're here now. This is where we're at. I think. I don't know what that means.
Would I get into some news or perhaps injuries?
I could. Just give me 2 seconds. Because this whole producing on the fly thing's a new venture for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst part about it all. Here we go.
I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in.
Take it, everybody.
What condition my condition was in.
That's great audience participation right there.
Yeah. They're loving it.
There we go. Hold on. Flashback.
It's now time for Is Rick DiPietro injured?
Probably.
Yeah, who knows? We haven't heard from him in a while.
I know he's doing radio in New York, so he's got that going for him.
He could still be hurt, though. We don't know. They don't have to report their injuries.
Strained vocal cords day to day, aren't we all? Just a couple injuries. Brian Bickle of the Chicago Blackhawks, upper body injury, enough to keep him out of the Stanley Cup Finals. Day to day, aren't we all? It seems that Chris Versteeg has been jumping in to the lineup for that. Also, Kimmo Timonen drawing into the lineup tonight for game number 4.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So there you go.
Kimmo.
Eric Fair also had elbow surgery. He's going to be ready for opening night, but he's also an unrestricted free agent. Whether or not the Caps are going to keep him, who's to say? But he'll be ready, I guess.
He had his best years as a Capital.
Yeah, no,
that one in Winnipeg.
Exactly, that one where it was just injury filled, and I think he played maybe 20 games. Mark,
sir,
it's a story that keeps on giving, brother.
I know, I love it. I mean, it sucks for them, but it's funny.
As of, I assume right now, the Glendale City Council is now meeting to figure out whether or not they want to keep the Coyotes or not. This is a story that has been fantastically living in infamy, and thanks to TSN's Rick Westhead, who, since they have no NHL coverage anymore, that he can go ahead and have himself an investigative report party. Breaking news. Ben Bishop out of the lineup for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Andrei Vasilevsky will start Game 4 for your Tampa Bay Lightning. Just coming off the wire. Bishop out, Vasilevsky starting. Thoughts, ideas?
I'm pretty sure that both teams were sort of prepared for this based on, all of the reports that have been coming out during the week and all the pundits wondering if Ben Bishop was going to play or not, and if he didn't play, whether Tampa Bay would be prepared to go with their backup, who I can't pronounce his name. Vasilevsky?
Vasilevsky.
Vasilevsky.
It's my name, but with V's.
Oh, Vasilevsky.
Vasilevsky. Well, technically, I learned yesterday because my family, the extended family, is also Polish. Vasilevsky is the way you say Vasilevsky in Polish.
Interesting.
Fun fact.
How does that make you feel?
What? That's V's? I knew it was V's for a while. I just didn't want to recognize it. I'm in America and in Canada. We pronounce it with the W's.
I'm in America and Canada.
That's what happens when I go through customs. Like on the American side, now I'm in the Canadian side. Now I'm in the American side. It's like Dave Chappelle and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, for all intents and purposes, the city of Glendale is saying that the Coyotes have breached their contract, and the city of Glendale is meeting to see whether or not they can pull the lease and pull the arena management contract. So there would be that. That would be a fantastic time had by everybody. Let me see here.
They were a little early this year on that, weren't
really
they?
Early?
I mean, usually they don't start this until at least after the draft. Oh, well, usually right before the draft.
Right. Well, we're getting there. We're getting close. Glendale councilors agreed to pay the Coyotes $15 million a year for 15 years to manage the Gila River Arena. And then, according to terms, the deal reached. Blah, blah, blah. The city was then to receive a portion of the revenue generated from the arena's operation. Coyotes paid the city about $6.5 million last season, meaning the city net loss on the arena was about $8.5. According to the copy on Wednesday's special meeting agenda posted on the city's website, councilors are meeting at 9 p.m. East for discussions and possible actions to direct the city manager and city attorney to cancel the professional management services and arena lease agreement between the city of Glendale and ICE Arizona Managers Company, LLC, and to pursue any and all other legal actions and remedies necessary to effectuate effectuate cancellation or termination of the lease agreement. So they're meeting to see if they can cancel things. And it's going to start here in the next hour, about 40 minutes in Arizona time. I don't know if Arizona's weird. They also don't do daylight savings time, I think. So I think they're Pacific time or Mountain time right now.
Okay.
So it's going to get started here in a bit, if it hasn't already started already. Wait, no, I mean they're in Central time. They don't recognize Martin Luther King's birthday either, so the hell with them.
You okay over there? You good?
It's the mellow yellow. Trying to get the yellow in me. So anyway, I am shocked and chagrined, though I shouldn't be, that this is an issue now. That they look like they're getting their shit together. Maybe after 5 years they pull out, but man, City of Glendale is hell bent on not having a team there and just having that arena be vacant and have a woe is me situation.
I don't know why they hate this so much. They just do not like hockey there. I don't really understand. But if the team has to go somewhere, there are cities willing to take an NHL franchise. So, I mean, all in all, it's not a terrible thing. It just sucks for the people who are Coyotes fans that have to go through this. And every year we joke, ha ha ha. They don't really go through this every year. But now they've gone through it. They've gone through it more years than they haven't gone through it since the team. More or less, it's like on average, almost every other year since the team started that they've threatened to leave. At this point.
Pretty much. I mean, it's a situation where I don't know if they hate hockey or if they just don't like the people that are in charge because it's not the people they want to have in charge. Because I guess it's not Jerry Reinsdorf there, so they don't want anything to do with it. I guess they want the big name and this little name isn't there. I really don't know what the hell the problem is. I mean, sure, they had to know they were losing money, right? I mean, it's not a surprise that the Coyotes are not the biggest moneymaker in the NHL.
No, I'm sure it's not a surprise. I would hope it's not a surprise.
But so it makes me wonder why they thought they were going to make any kind of money, especially in the first year of this agreement. This is year one of a 15-year agreement. Yeah. How the hell does this work? I don't know.
I don't know either. It is very perplexing. I mean, clearly they probably, at this point, I feel like they felt strong-armed to get something done last season to try and see if whatever deal that they made was going to make them money, and it didn't this year, so now they're trying to find any way they can to back out of it. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's something... Then why vote it in, I guess, is my question. Why vote it in the first place when you're just going to come back and say, you know what, this thing we made 9 months ago, I don't like it anymore. It's like a kid. It's like a kid. I don't like this kid anymore. Get him out of here, kind of situation.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I couldn't care. I guess it sucks for the Coyotes fans, the dyed-in-the-wool ones who have stuck with this team through all this garbage when many people would have given up otherwise. But hey, who knows? If they move out, maybe Lemieux can move to Glendale. He'll move the Penguins to Glendale, and all will be fine.
And that'll be it.
And that'll be done, and the circle of life continues.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about this. It's just, I think, why don't we just replay one of last year's shows? I mean, at this point, it's almost exactly the same thing.
So much easier if we did. But the production value we'd have to do, and actually have to cut up a show. That would be painstaking, something I don't feel like doing. But yeah, if I look in the notes, I'm pretty sure it's probably once every year they're doing this. And I was like, God, does it ever stop? Can't stop, won't stop? Is this like P. Diddy and Mace? Like,
maybe they just have nothing that they have to justify their payment in the summer times. Maybe they don't have anything to vote on in the summer, so they have to invent things to vote on in the summertime.
The stare your girl just gave to the camera was one of death. But hey, who am I to say? I'm standing there. I'm almost like, she's right behind you. She's right. Don't turn around. She's gonna stab you.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. So yeah, that's a thing that's been going on. I like that this the story that keeps on giving. That's for damn sure. And we'll find out starting at 9 o'clock here. So either an hour or 2 hours from now, depending on what time zone they are. I should look that up. What is Glendale, Arizona? Glendale, Arizona is what?
Mountain. I'm gonna guess mountain.
Mountain. Well, you have to remember that they go ahead and I don't know. I think they might observe daylight savings time. They might not. Fun fact: the city of Glendale is open to a new and better deal with the Coyotes.
I see. What did I tell you? The deal that they signed last year, they don't like. They're trying to avoid it for some reason because it didn't make the money.
They're on Pacific time. How about that? So it's now 5:25 there. So in an hour and a half, they'll be doing this thing. Come on, AZ Central load. Come on, you son of a gun. City issued a statement. They scheduled a discussion. Blah 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 blah. No, I don't want to subscribe now. I'll enjoy my limited number of articles in the next couple of days. Blah blah blah. Jesus, what's the pop-up ads, Arizona? Golly. Come on, let's get to it. Enough of this adding to the story bullshit too, newspapers. You're always almost irrelevant as it is. I don't need any of this garbage you're trying to throw onto me. But what could be the better deal, I guess, is the real question. Here we go. Infograph time. Hockey games brought in 314,000 people in 2013-14, and 501. Wow, that numbers are off. Why do you use yellow and purple, you sons of bitches? All right, so 2013-14, 514,000 people went to hockey games, and 501,000 people went to hockey games 2014-15. So a loss of what, 13,000, right off the hop. Yeah, attendance is down 2.8%. Sales tax collections up 29%. Hockey ticket surcharge down 2.8%. Non-hockey ticket surcharge up 45%. Hockey parking down 7.5%. Naming rights went up 357%. So that's something. And total revenue was 15.8%. Total expenditures 14.6. 13.6 deficiency. Blah 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 blah. The second season is about what we expected. Revenue is up. It's because of non-hockey events. So basically, they're saying we can fill the building with non-hockey events, and we'll be fine, because that'll free up 41 dates at least for non-hockey, for more non-hockey events, concerts or games or like arena football or something like that.
So the contract that they signed did not allow them to do that?
The contract that they signed with Ice, with the Ice Arizona crew, is that they would pay them $15 million, and then I guess at the end of the season they would get back a difference of what they made. Because they said they made $6.1 million, so I guess the difference of that from the $16 million would get paid back to the city. I think, because I'm trying to think of the math. They said $15 million and they gave back $8 million, and they $8.1 million, and I guess they kept $6.9 million. I'm sure that math works out somehow.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I was trying to keep track of the math as you were going, and
8.1, 6.9 equals 15, right?
8.1 and 6.9 equals 15. Yes.
Okay, good. So yeah, I think that's the whole gimmick now, is that they're going ahead and doing things and stuff and giving back money off the $15 million. I don't know. What Glenfish, they didn't say. Glenville County on Tuesday had a closed door. Blah, blah, blah. Discuss the city. Coyotes have warned the city that releasing teams' financial data will put the team in a competitive disadvantage and would violate the confidentiality clause in the agreement. Goody. So basically, the Coyotes are saying, don't open up our books because they're much, much worse than usual.
Which is why they want a new deal.
Yep. Well, the city wants a new deal that benefits them a whole lot more, so they'll get parking and all kinds of other crap. I tried to keep up, but I just stopped.
So wait, if both sides are getting screwed on this deal, then where's all the money going?
Arena football? I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know where the rest of the money's going. Filtered into that mall that's terrible that's around the arena? Yeah, I have no clue what the hell's going on with this.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wait. We'll wait and see. I'm sure something is going to happen this week with all of this.
Well, it's going to have to. It's all going down tonight, son. We might have to be 24-hour party people.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I go ahead. I get Lyle Richardson on. We'll talk about coaching news with him later.
I just forwarded him the link. I sent him an email. I don't know how we usually do it, but I sent him.
I don't know either. So fuck it. I'm done with it. You do that work.
I got him. I'm sitting at a computer. I got him.
I'm sitting at 7, but I can only use one hand. I'm used to that. Anyway, folks. Other news and notes. Anaheim fired assistant coach Brad Lauer, but said they will keep Bruce Boudreau for next season. Obviously, that was something that a lot of people were wondering because the Bob Murray did not give a vote of confidence right after the Ducks were eliminated in 7 games to the Blackhawks. Detroit officially hired Jeff Blashill as their new head coach. He coached in Grand Rapids for the last few years, and he is going ahead and moving on up the ladder, much like the Jeffersons did when they went on the east side.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Stevens is going to be interviewing for the New Jersey Devils assistant coaching job.
He has to re-interview for his job.
He has to re-interview for his job that he was fired from because he was a co-coach, and Sweet Lou didn't know any better. So I figure all new staff. He thinks that he can get in with the with John Hayes and John Haynes and all those fellas there. Ron Wilson is going to be coaching the World Junior Championship USA roster team there in 2016. So he will have.
I wonder what kind of fun toys he's going to have for the World Juniors in 2016 on the bench, like iPads. I mean, he already had the iPads going. How can you improve on that?
Got it. Holograms.
There you go.
Holograms, and that's what he's going to do. It's going to be projection based. Competition committee, they're a thing, and they met, and they went ahead and gave some ideas that could possibly be up there. One of those ideas is the expanded video review, including a coach's challenge, which would be basically just for goal reviews, for goaltender interference or offsides plays. It looks like for goals. So they're probably going ahead and seeing what's happening there. Also changes to some face-offs and maybe possibly even expanding the overtime amount, the format of it at least. But of course, they haven't decided on anything in particular yet. Therefore, we all have to wait, and then it has to be approved by the NHLPA and the NHL and all this other crap.
It seems a foregone conclusion that there's going to be a coach's challenge. I can't imagine any owner that would disagree with having their coach be able to challenge a bad call.
Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you go ahead and say, you know what, the hell with it, give me that call again. I want to check it out. And what does it hurt? Like it's going to lessen the amount of time that you're going to have people bitching and complaining about it. It'll make the refs look a little better because they actually went to the booth and had somebody tell them. Of course, they might be offended that someone's telling them how to do their jobs, but whatever, they get paid a nice sum. But yeah, I mean, I think coaches' challenge is the next best thing. But again, it's a matter of figuring out how to limit them and all kinds of other crazy crap there. All right, and we got Lyle Richards on from SpectresHockey.net.
Woohoo! Yay!
And I'm going to bring you on a couple debates that I'm going to start this one right here, right now.
Sure.
Chairman of NBC Sports, Mark Lazarus. You heard of him? Good.
You hiding him?
Yeah,
you haven't hiding him.
Yeah, good. This was his cocktail idea. Apparently, he said, I don't know who he said it to, but he said it in an interview, that playoff beards are ruining the NHL, and he wants the players to shave them off so that they'd be better marketed during the season. Because he says it hides their faces, and by the time everything's said and done, you're shaving their beards, and everybody, and no one knows them from Adam. And there you go. My question is, apparently this was a big enough debate that ESPN picked up on it and had a couple segments on it. I was very surprised at that. But I guess, is Mark Lazarus crazy, or is he onto something here?
My question is, who the hell is this guy?
He's trying to bring hockey back from the dead in the ratings pool. Lazarus, it's a joke!
Well, as I sit here and stroke my own version of a playoff beard, which is now starting to get dangerously close to Civil War reenactor phase. Thank you. It'll probably be gone by the weekend, depending on how this series goes. But anyhow, yeah, I read that initially, and of course my first reaction would be like most people, who the hell is this guy thinking? But it's just, he's a television guy. He's looking at it from a marketing perspective and everything like that. But, he also said in the same interview, not that I expect the NHL to listen to anything I have to say. So I think that pretty much says all that we have to say about the whole issue of playoff beards. They're not going anywhere. The league isn't going to turn around and tell the players they can't grow facial hair during the playoffs. So
if you have to preface your statement with, nah, I don't think they're going to listen to me anyway. Just stick to Twitter.
Well, he prefaced it by saying, that it was just his opinion, and he knows that the players weren't going to like it, and da-da-da, but just talking to his point of view. And, I mean, looking at it...
It makes sense on the interim in terms of, it does hurt their marketability a little bit in the slightest.
A little bit.
But at the same time, even if they did shave their beards, are you going to be able to pick out Andre Palat from a lineup anyway if he's clean-shaven?
Exactly. Exactly. No, you won't. I mean, the only way you could ever realistically ever even do that is if you went back to the way the game was 35, 40 years ago when the players didn't wear helmets and all that good stuff, because they were a lot more easily identifiable back then. But in the interest of safety, that's not going to happen. So, you're not going to see that sort of thing. And as far as playoff beards go, it certainly isn't hurting NBC in the ratings, as Scotty looks puzzled.
No, I'm working on something. Don't worry about me.
Oh, okay.
It's weird having to produce the show and also run it, to run the show and also be a part of it as well. So go on, don't mind.
Welcome to Johnny's world, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't look at the man behind the curtain.
Who's
in
right
front
up
of
here right now. But anyway, so that's my thought on the whole thing. It's not hurting the ratings until the day comes where Gary Bettman sits down and says, that might be a good idea. Then you can start worrying about it. But I don't think that we've seen the last of the playoff beards.
Well, my big thing is that, first off, he's a TV guy. Obviously, we understand that.
Right.
The other thing is whether or not how the players feel, aside from the fact that it's really itchy in here. Oh, it's really itchy. Let me say this. I don't like traditions. I don't like traditions. It's too itchy. There's too much in here.
Yeah, you tend to see that quite a bit during the interviews. Guys sitting there with the old beard itch. If you're not used to growing a beard, I wore a beard for years during my Navy days, so this is not unfamiliar territory for me. Though I never used to wear it this thick, so that's a little unusual. But anyway,
it's one of those things where it's just like they look like a crackhead. Otherwise, they're just
or a hobo.
Oh baby, I need.
Or a hobo who hasn't bathed in a while, and the lice is starting to, roost.
By the way,
in
shout out Brent Burns.
Oh man, I love the NHL's version of the Wookiee. I do. And he does. He looks like a friggin' Wookiee. But what the hell? He's a good hockey player. So I mean, hey, you want to look like you just stumbled out of the backwoods, after living there for 40 years as a lumberjack. Fine, go for it. I say,
Does he win this year's award for best beard?
Oh, he's been winning that, dude. He's been winning that thing for I think at least three years running now. Though it's kind of unfair because he never shaves it, so it's kind of unfair compared to everybody else.
He has to be disqualified.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if the Sharks go all the way, how can you tell? Because he's had that beard the same length the whole time.
Well, my thing is, I think he just shaves at the beginning of the year and then it just starts to grow and hopes for the best. Because I remember Chris Mason. Chris Mason was the bald-headed guy with the
yeah,
look at this guy.
Yeah, he
was a goalie too. That was the worst.
He was rocking the kind of the metal version, if you will. You know.
Yeah. But I mean, shout out to future captain Brett Burns.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I'm just chuckling because they're showing the Scotty. Mark, you wouldn't have seen this, but because it's only on Canadian television. But have you seen those? Have you seen those commercials for Scotiabank where the kid keeps asking his dad, "How many goals did we score last year, Dad? Dad, how many?"
Jesus Christ, that's goddamn annoying.
How many games are good? And he goes, "Dad, what number did you wear?" And he goes and he looks at his son and goes, 14, kiddo. And the kid looks at his back and wearing his sweater, looks at his back and goes, 14. I can't resist every time he does that. What number did you wear, Dad? 14, kiddo. 28. just to make my mind work. But anyway, no, I wasn't trying to be kind of snobby, exclusive Canadian only stuff there, Mark. Just saying, you wouldn't have seen that commercial.
You wouldn't have seen this because you're not Canadian.
Case American. Case American.
My thing is, all those Scotiabank commercials are the worst. I hate all the one where they were giving nicknames and the one girl had to save her friend because he's a dope and doesn't have a nickname. Popular, and you want to make him look cool in front of him.
Glue. That's what they call horses.
We call him Glue because he's gonna have a chronic masturbation problem after hockey.
we call him Glue because that's what he's gonna be addicted to in 5 years.
Exactly. Shout out Nova Scotia.
There you go. But anyway, yeah.
So we had that. We also were talking about the city of Glendale.
Oh,
the city of Glendale!
It's the never-ending story. It's the soap opera. This is a soap opera now. I mean, God damn it, man. I mean, they turn around and they, a week after Gary Bettman sits there and says, that the Coyotes aren't going anywhere. I could guarantee it. Blah blah blah. And not even in the same day after the new majority owner says, "Oh, I had a good meeting with them," and blah blah blah, and everything's this and that, and they drop the bombshell. No, we want out of this arena lease agreement. We're tired of losing money steadily. We decided we want to cut our losses, so we want out of this thing. And oh my God, it's at the point now where all I do is I laugh, and I'm sorry to Coyotes fans. I feel sorry to Coyotes fans because they have to keep going through this crap over and over and over every year since 2009. Yeah. Though we might see the return of Johnny's favorite judge, Renfield T. Baum. So There is a silver lining if this goes to court. There is a silver lining.
Lyle, you say it's a soap opera, but what season are we on? Is this like season 4, season 5, season 6 of this soap opera?
This would be. I think this is season 6. I mean, this started in the summer of 2009, so 6 years later, season 6. I mean, just when you it's God, it is. It's like just when you think it's all gonna be all sorted out and tied up in a little ribbon and all taken care of, boom. Somebody drops a bomb, and off they go again. I mean, it's just...
I am wondering how more fans haven't abandoned this team because of the sheer fact that if I'm a fan, I'm getting jerked around like this year in, year out. Like, why am I still loyal to a thing that hurts me so much? And then I just turn around, and I see my kid after she elbows me in the stomach. I'm like, okay, I guess I can understand. So the Coyotes are like a child, an asshole, and that's all I have to say about that. No, but I mean, how do you if this was you, Lyle, if you're a Coyotes fan, God forbid, and not only are you getting new jerseys next year that are probably going to say Quebec on them, you're also going. By the way, I wonder how quickly they stop production on those jerseys, saying, "Hold up, we don't know if we're going to be here." Stay around.
Your name here.
Exactly. Just put a number 19
logo here.
Just put Doan in 19. We'll figure the logo out later. We'll make sure that's fine.
There are like 12 teams in Arizona called the Coyotes. They'll be fine.
they can turn around and do like the Jets did in their first draft, where their first draft pick was Mark Scheifele, remember, and he came out just dressed wearing a jersey with an NHL crest. NHL Crescent 11, and yeah, they can do that. No, if listen, I think you're making a good point. I mean, all kidding and jokes aside and everything like that, if you're a Coyotes fan, what's to keep you to stay loyal to a franchise that year to year you don't know if they're going to be here? Every year it's the same thing, and first it's ownership nonsense, now it's arena lease stuff, and it's, at some point, it's just going to reach a level where you just can't keep it there anymore.
Whether
you're
it's
just
a
going to have
leg
to move
problem,
it. Yeah.
or an arm problem, or a psychological problem, or a heart attack.
It's funny you bring that up, because I was about to say, is this the closest to a real-life Major League situation that we're going to have?
Oh, my God.
Because the ownership is clearly trying to move the team by... I don't understand why.
Well, the ownership claims they're not trying to move the team. The whole thing is this latest installment of As the Coyotes Turn. The city of Glendale wants out of the lease. Now the lease is a 15-year lease. They signed it 2 years ago, so there's another 13 years. To my understanding,
it's past year 2.
Yeah, so there's another 13 years left to go on it. However, now there is the out clause in there for the current ownership that if losses accumulate to the point of losses exceed $50 million by the time 2017 rolls around, then they can turn around and break the lease agreement and pull the team out of Glendale. But the city of Glendale has apparently they want to vote on this to say, well, no, you know what? We don't want to take that. Why are we sitting around continuing to just throw money away? I mean, last year we lost $8 million. This fiscal year we're losing $8.7 million. We're not seeing any sign this is going down. We're going to keep losing money up until 2017. They're probably going to pull the team anyway. So why don't we just cut our losses now, run the risk with the lawsuit, and just go, and just have done with it. And if they vote and the vote is tonight, if they vote to break the lease, here come the lawsuits from both the Coyotes and from the league, because they're going to say, look, we signed this deal in good faith. We've given no indication we want to leave. We are committed to staying, blah, 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 blah. And, this gets tied up in court. The bottom line is that the Coyotes, if the city of Glendale votes tonight to break the lease, the lawsuits will start. The team will still be playing there. They're not going to move this summer. They will still be playing in the Gila Arena next season. But you're going to have that this upcoming season will just be dogged with all this stuff with the lawsuit and everything else. Because if the league loses and if the Coyotes lose, then yes, they've got no choice. They've got to relocate. If the league and the Coyotes win, they don't go anywhere. But you have to assume then that the city of Glendale is probably going to want something in writing from the Coyotes ownership saying that we, even though we have this out clause, we don't intend to employ it. Which, let's face it, some kind of whether it's some statement of an article of good faith or what have you. I don't know how you could go about doing this, but I think that really what this comes down to ultimately is they're going to need assurances that this team is not going to be packed up and moved by the current ownership in 2 years' time, because 2017 is when that out clause goes into effect.
So basically, they're taking their ball and going home. And it's like, you know what? We're going to cut the cord right here. You're going to take it away from us anyway, so we're going to take it from you already. Ha, ha, joke's on you.
And we don't want to lose any more money. Though, quite frankly, they could wind up losing just as much money if this winds up in lawsuits, which it will. So, I understand from the city of Glendale's point of view, from their city council's point of view, why they want out of this thing, because they really do. I think they really do feel that this current deal was done. Basically, they were under duress, over a barrel, whatever euphemism you want to use to say, backed into a corner, screwed, what have you, that they had to do this deal or else. I think that they felt that this was done under duress, and it was also done by the previous. I don't want to say ownership, but whatever previous regime or leadership of this Glendale City Council, and the current one just, no, we want out of this. So, I mean, I can understand why, because they just look at this arena, which has just basically become this huge white elephant. I mean, it's hemorrhaging money. But I guess they figure that, well, better if we have this thing even without an anchor tenant, and we can try and find other more affordable means to make money off of the damn thing, rather than stick with what we've got now and just start throwing bad money after good.
By the way, it has to be a majority vote. So if it's 3-3, the lease stands.
Yeah. Cannot end in a tie. There must be a winner.
Is there going to be a shootout at the end?
I hope so. I hope so. That'd be great if they did. But guys, do you smell that?
What's that?
You smell? You smell that? Yeah. You smell that? smells a little bit like smells like betting balls. Smells like betting balls in here. smell like betting balls coming back.
Betting balls. Jim Balsillie coming back. I don't think we're going to see betting balls, but
we're going to see betting balls.
No, we'll see somebody else. We'll see somebody else.
Jim Balsillie. Did you see the BlackBerry Oslo? Looks great. Looks fantastic.
It won't be him.
BlackBerry looks great, Lyle.
It won't be him. But you got to figure though. I mean, if the NHL loses this lawsuit, very, very quickly the team ends up, I think, in Vegas. To be quite honest.
Baby. Tell Johnny to stay there. Tell Johnny to stay there and help build it.
Yep. Build it, Johnny. They will come.
Build it, Johnny. Let's make it happen.
Well, I'd say Vegas, because so far between Vegas and Seattle, those are the two. Vegas is the furthest ahead in constructing a new arena. I would say Quebec City, but come on, let's be honest. We all know there's 16 teams out of 30 in the Eastern Conference. The NHL does not want to expand and put another expansion team in the Eastern Conference. If they're going to move a team, they're going to keep it in the West. The Coyotes will stay in the West, so that means Seattle or Vegas. And right now, I'm saying Vegas.
You know what? I'm going dark horse. Go Kansas City.
Could be that one too. That one definitely be a dark horse, but they have an arena built, ready to go.
It's ready to go. It's collecting dust. It looks like a big disco ball, but it's collecting dust like a sumbitch.
Oh yeah. You're into the mellow yellow again, aren't you?
Yes, he is. It's been an interesting night, Lyle.
I've almost polished out a 12-pack in the last day.
Oh my God! But I will say this, by the way, I was following the show earlier, and I got to say you guys got to send Johnny out on remotes more often, because that was really cool. Like, Johnny in the Vegas airport, that's though that whole thing, I have to admit, the whole thing. What was her name, Marge or something? Marge. She kept paging for a flight. That got a little annoying after a while. Yes, for Christ's sake, get your flight. Gate. Why aren't you at your gate? What are you doing?
To be poker.
Yeah. To be fair, I can't say shit for Shinola because I almost missed my flight to Minneapolis because I was super, super late getting up, and then I rushed to the airport and just made it before they closed off check-in.
Oh, you can't play nowadays, man. No. You can't play anymore. Like it's getting worse, isn't it? It's getting worse.
Well, international flights, they close an hour beforehand for Delta.
How are you enjoying the joys of carry-on, or did you just check your bags and say to hell with it?
Oh no, they gave me a gate check-in. Delta's been great to me. Delta's treated me super well, and that's why I was able to get a first-class flight back for $50 more than a coach ticket.
Oh, lovely.
But Delta, I love the way they fly.
Hey,
expensive. Because Lyle, a round-trip ticket for Delta cost me, even with the first-class thing, cost me $700.
Get out of town.
For Air Canada, it would cost me about $1,100.
Well, Air Canada sucks balls anyway, so I mean, I don't blame you for doing Delta, man. Jeez, I wish I could drive to Buffalo for the draft next year. I could, but I don't want to take 2 days on the road and then 2 days back. The drive up to Montreal and back was a killer when I did that. So I mean, hell, I'm not looking forward to just doing that short 2-hour jaunt from here to Toronto.
We gotta find a way to get in yet. We still have to find a way to get into the draft this year.
Oh?
Let's not.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for God's sake, not again! What the hell are they? What the hell is what the hell are they doing? Their PR guys are dropping the ball here big time. They're their media guys. Whoever's doing the credentialing.
What we were able to gather, at least what I was able to gather, is that they're like, yeah, we have to work on the rights holders and the teams first, and then we'll extend out to whatever else. And I'm thinking to myself, why not do that first rather than reject us the day after the registration closes?
Well,
why not go ahead and deal with that garbage first, and then maybe a couple weeks later, a couple days later, you figure out who else is going to show up.
Well, I mean, yeah, because, and the thing, I don't understand it, because, I mean, Jesus, I mean, I know I haven't been to the draft in a while, but, I mean, God, you know, the ones that I went to, I mean, you knew right away, you know, if you filed well enough in advance, you knew that, yes, you were going to be approved, so you didn't have to worry about it when you got there. It was just, you know, in the case of for me in the Minnesota one, no, you don't go and pick your credentials up from the regulars. You have to wait until the next day and go and get them made up. But still, at least I knew I was approved, you know?
Exactly.
I knew it was approved. So it wasn't like, oh, shit, yeah, it was fine. This is... Because, I mean, for those of us that are going on our own dime, I mean, you know, if you get there and find out you're not in, well, geez, you spent all that money for what?
Yep.
You know, for what?
And that's just it, is that, you know, we bought these in advance. We bought the plane tickets and hotel stuff in advance, assuming that we were going to get in. Now, of course, on our part, that's something we can't do, but at the same time, we're working on a budget here. We can't do a last-minute trip where we can go ahead and have someone book it for us, or expense the whole thing, or even just go ahead and you know, just do it out of shits and gigs. But for all intents and purposes, I don't see why the hell we are being the pariahs out of all of this. It's one thing that if you're doing this and you haven't done it for a while, and you know, you're just getting a startup thing going. Like, for someone who's an independent blog or podcast or something like that, yeah, I could see that. But we've been doing this since 2002, for fuck's sakes.
Exactly. I mean, you guys have been there every year for the past 12, 13 drafts?
We've been to 13 of the last 14 drafts.
There you go. I mean, for God's sake. You know, it's just ridiculous. I mean, and that's the thing. When I go next year, I mean, I don't think that I'm going to want to apply under Spectre's Hockey. I mean, I'm going to have to talk to either the Hockey News or Bleacher Report and see if I can go under their credentials, because at least then I know I'll have a decent shot. You know what I mean? Rather than if I go under my own name, because the last drafts I went to, I was under Fox Sports' banner, so that was, oh yeah, rubber stamp, you're there, you know, no worries. But to go under my own name, no, I don't think I'll get it, you know. Even though my site's been around since 1998, you know, and all that happy stuff. But I think I'll have to try to go under Bleacher Report or the Hockey News if they will allow it, you know, because they can only send so many.
Why don't you go ahead and go to the PEI Guardian Island Guardian?
I actually spoke to them about that, but you know, that's not going to happen. You know, even if I go under my own dime, I was
going to say, that's kind of weird that they would do that.
Well, because I'd have to write special material for them, and there's nothing really in the draft that I can give them that they can't pick up off the wire. So.
You better. It'd be interesting if a PEI Islander, Charlottetown Islander, did really good, and then maybe, just maybe, you could do it. Then you could go ahead and go on that one. But I don't think there's anybody.
No. If see, that would be the thing. If Connor McDavid or Jack Eichel were from Charlottetown PEI, I'd be there. But then of course too, they'd have their own people wanting to go on that anyway. So you know, their full-time regular sports coverage guy would be doing that instead of me. Believe me, I looked into all of this before. So
yeah. Yeah, this has been a fun. But we did the math, and they approved us on.
Well, last year, didn't you? Wasn't the last couple of times it was like you didn't know until you got there?
June 15th, we knew last time for Philadelphia.
Okay.
And then the Pittsburgh draft, we didn't know until we got there.
Yes, I remember that.
New Jersey, we were approved immediately. But yeah, the Pittsburgh one was the biggest gong show because we hadn't been denied or approved. We were still in the waiting list.
I remember that.
The day of the event.
I remember that. You guys were in limbo, like literally chewing your nails before you went. You know, I remember talking to you before you went. You were, you know, it was like, yeah, we don't know. We're in limbo right now.
Oh, fuck chewing your nails. I was about to burn the place down.
Yeah. No,
not just because it's Pittsburgh, but that helped a lot.
Just give me an excuse. Yeah.
Give me a reason.
Just give me a reason.
There are no cabs in the city. 25 bridges in a 2-mile radius.
There's that. Thank God no one lives here. Oh Jesus.
Oh well.
I need to get my own microphone because this is fun. Actually, being able to pull myself away from it.
But very, very quickly, I just want to sum up on the whole Coyotes thing. Honest to God, this has got to come to an end. And if it means that you move the team, then move the team. I mean, I've been very supportive of keeping them there for nothing else because I've gotten to know some Coyotes fans over the course of the years in my line of work, and yes, there is a passionate fan base. It's small, but there's a passionate fan base there for NHL hockey and for the Coyotes. But at some point, you just can't have this sort of Damocles hanging over your head every year. So that franchise needs stability. If they're going to be able to attract fans, if they're going to be able to build it up so that they're not just trying to eke out a competitive team on a shoestring, they have to know there's going to be stability there. And if that isn't assured over the next decade, then put the team in a market, not where they're going to be appreciated. I hate where people say, put them in a place where they'll be appreciated. The Coyotes are appreciated where they are. They are. But, a better term phrase would be put them in a market where there will be long-term stability. So you can build that franchise properly. It can build a fan base. It can build a large, loyal fan base. And it can then have room to thrive and grow. That's all.
Put them in a market where it's going to be a little bit stable, and the city isn't willing to run roughshod over the dealings and wheelings and all that other crap, because it seems as if they're appreciated by the people.
Yeah.
It's just the government that hates their guts because they're not getting a better return on investments. I suppose. I guess that's the end all be all, right? Like they're not getting a better return, and they think all this. And so it's like, well, what the hell did you expect? This was a team that's in bankruptcy for 5 years. It was always in a shell game or a crapshoot. There it is. That's the right term. It's always a crapshoot whether they're going to stay year to year. What did you expect to get your investment back immediately? It's not going to happen that way.
Well, again, apparently it was the previous regime or leadership, if you will, 2 years ago that agreed to that deal. So the ones that are in now, I guess some of them don't like it. But yeah, you've as I said earlier. If you can't promise the fans in that city, the hockey fans in that city, that this team has long-term stability, absolutely guaranteed, not going anywhere, none of this, the city council's going to try and get out of the lease, none of the, the ownership's could pull the team in 2 or 3 years. No, that they're there, they're committed, they're there for the long term, and that's it. If you can't guarantee that, then put them into a market where they will have long-term stability.
It's really hard to say long-term stability.
Well, yeah, it is.
Because it's like so many things. Judge Redfield T-Bomb.
I'd love it if it's Redfield T-Bomb again.
Comes back.
Johnny's favorite judge. So you got to admit it's a pretty cool name. Redfield. I said Redfield.
Now, I'm not a big city lawyer.
I'm not a big city judge.
Look at you with your come from... Shirt. Lyle wanted to do that so he could pop his Expos shirt. That's what he wanted to do.
There we go. Yeah.
There you go. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Looking nice. Anyway. Looking nice.
Oh, God, I hope they bring the Expos back. They keep talking about it the last couple of years. They keep talking about it.
And since the walking, talking Stephen Hawking Bud Selig isn't there anymore, I think Rob Manfred can go ahead and have himself a team in Quebec and Montreal really quick.
Well, who knows? Maybe, what is it, the Marlins? They're not in very good shape now.
I don't think
the Marlins or...
Tampa's not in good shape.
Tampa, yes. Yeah.
Both Miami teams are shit, but the Marlins aren't going to move because Jeff Laurier will just do
that. Just out of spite. He's the one who, stuck the dagger into Montreal in the first place. Bastard.
There you go.
Well, what can I say? Geez, I was an Expos fan before. When I was growing up, I was an Expos fan before I was a Blue Jay. You cheer for the Blue Jays now because they're the only game in town. But even the Blue Jays were winning World Series, and it was like, yay, World Series coming back to Canada, great. I was still an Expos fan. They were the first team. They were the first Canadian team. They were the first team I cheered for. I love that team.
Gary Carter.
Yes.
Boy, when I was growing up.
Oh, Gary Carter was. We loved him up. Gary Carter, Andre Dawson, Timmy Raines, Warren Cromartie, the Crow. God, we love those guys. But we love those guys. They were, and then the 92, 93, 94 teams. Oh,
Pedro,
God, that broke
Randy
my heart.
Johnson, Larry
Vlad?
Walker,
Wasn't Vlad Guerrero part of that
Vlad
team?
Yep,
Guerrero,
Vlad
Moises
Guerrero.
Alou,
Oh man,
Tim Wallach.
they had that. Well, like they said, when the league shut down in '94, they weren't just leading, in the National League. They were leading overall. Period. They had a better record than the Yankees, and it was just like, oh, how could you do this?
I think Delino de Shields was there.
Yep. Oh man, they just had, and managed by Felipe Alou, one of
Andres
the
Galarragas.
smartest baseball men ever. I mean, the Blue Jays were a powerhouse in the early '90s, but the thing about the Expos, they played exciting baseball. I mean, these were guys that were stealing home, for God's sake. That was something you rarely see it now. You rarely saw it then. But he used to give them the sign to steal home. It was fantastic. They were an aggressive team. They were young and exciting. Oh man, broke my heart.
That's National League ball for you, Lau. That's the National League small ball.
Broke my heart. Broke my heart when they moved that team.
Fun fact: I'll be going to a baseball game tomorrow.
I hate you. Anyway. No, I don't. I'm just jealous.
Get to go see Big Papi and Panda Bear and all kinds of crap.
Who's Panda Bear?
Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah.
Who calls him
Kung
Panda?
Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda, yeah. Everyone calls him that.
Kung Fu Panda, man, from his Giants days.
I've never heard that.
Oh, come on. Yes, you
They
have.
have big panda hats made for him.
Yeah. He was all the rage, man. Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Catch up, Mark. Come
I'll
on.
take your word for it.
You're going to have to. No, seriously, straight up, they did.
I know. I mean, I don't know. I'm taking your word for it.
Okay.
I know.
It's good to
Wait,
know
no,
you still.
hold on.
It's good to know we still have a level of trust after all these years.
Andre Vasilevsky in that.
Yeah, it's scoreless after one. I couldn't resist when I saw that on Twitter that Vasilevsky was going to go that they're not even dressing Ben Bishop. So I just threw up on Twitter. Yeah, after the anthem, Vasilevsky skates to the net. Suddenly Bishop appears and Jim Ross yells, "Good God, that's Ben Bishop's music!" And it's a WWE swerve.
And it's actually just church music, and the bishop comes out.
Nah. Thinking more of the Bishop from the Monty Python sketch. That has a more James Bondian sort of thing. Ding, 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 ding. But anyway. You're right though, Scotty. More like church music. Oh,
the Undertaker music goes off, and it'd be great.
Well, that's one sick bishop. But anyway.
But yeah, these games have been really, really interesting. They've been good. They've been
close.
They've been tight. And that one pass by Hedman in the last game. Holy Jesus Christ!
Oh man. I'll tell you, he has
sleeping.
Well, yeah, he has really impressed me in the past. I mean, he caught my eye last season. I was, I think on the show we even talked about, a year ago how much he'd improved and because of course we remembered him from the draft in Montreal when we were all talking about that he was a terrific Benicio del Toro lookalike. But he doesn't look like it now, does he? Now he looks like an angry Nordic god or something, But
he's playing like it. That's for damn
sure. Oh
sure.
man, but yeah, this season and especially in this year's playoffs, he has really stepped up now as an elite defenseman, and big reason why the Lightning are playing as well. The Lightning, though, it's their speed. I mean, I was giving the nod to the Blackhawks with their experience, and I still think that could work on their side, but I got to tell you, I'm starting to feel that little bit of doubt creeping in because just. The Hawks are having trouble containing the Lightning's speed. They really are. And if they don't do something about that soon, this is going to be over by Friday night. I think that's
Saturday night.
Saturday, yeah, because we can't have a Stanley Cup awarded on a Friday night when everybody's at the bar. No, heaven forbid.
Have it on Saturday when everyone's at the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
It's summertime. We're all drinking on the patio.
Exactly.
So.
I gotta ask you guys this question. Well, I mean, I'm sure that you probably felt it anyway once the Caps got eliminated. But don't you feel once you get to June that it's just hard to get excited to watch hockey if your team isn't in it by this point?
Yes.
I really like. It's just too long. I mean, it's June. We're into baseball season now. Football's going to be starting up.
School's out and the kids are around.
Exactly. You want to get out to the beach and things like that, or out on the golf course or what have you. And it's just like, no. Again, yeah. I mean, if it was the Capitals or if it was the Canadians that were in the final right now, oh yes, we'd be glued to it. But even then, it's just I hate the fact that the Stanley Cup final is in June. I can live with it in May because May the weather, depending on where you are, can still be kind of But once we get into June and the weather's nice, man, I was just like, I can't get into this. I just want this to hurry up and end.
When do you think the last time the cup was awarded in May?
I'm going to
Let's take some guesses
say
here, kids.
1992. I believe it was in 1992. The Pittsburgh Penguins.
Are we all guessing for this?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
go. I'll tell you if it's right or not, and then we can go from nope, awarded in June 1st.
Oh, okay. Mark, your guess.
Well, you shouldn't have said anything.
I said 1992, so we know that one's wrong.
All
So
right, I'm gonna
go
go.
ahead.
You know what? I'm gonna skip a year because 91. I feel like, and we got to bring in the leap years. I'm gonna go with 1990.
Okay.
No, wait. I'm gonna go with 1988.
No, too late. You said 1990.
88
No,
was a
you
leap
can
year.
say whatever you want. I'm just kidding. No. 1989. No, 1914. Wait a minute. No, I panicked.
1940, holy Jesus. Wait,
Final
what?
answer. 1988.
Okay, his final answer.
It was awarded then, yes, but it would happen sooner than that.
Okay.
Okay.
So you should have stuck with 1990.
Maybe.
Happened sooner than that.
Oh. 91?
Winner.
Winner,
So
chicken
91 was as I'm looking. I'm going to check the other days as we wind down. Obviously.
Well, we knew in the lockout shortened years that it was going to be awarded in June regardless. So those ones just.
So the Canadians was awarded in the middle of June.
Yeah.
Middle of June for 94. So it looks like 91 was the last time we have had a Stanley Cup winner in May.
I am so old, guys. I remember when the Stanley Cup winner was in early May. I remember watching the Canadians in May. I believe it was May 10th, 1977, and they beat the Bruins in 4 straight. I believe it was May 10th, but it was definitely early May. I was 14. I remember watching that. Yeah.
Yeah, Lyle was bitching back then. The season's too long.
No, actually, that was fine because in Nova Scotia, man, it is still cold and bitchy and miserable in early May.
Oh, Nova Scotia, will you ever win?
Yes, when it's June.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
When the calendar turns to June, it's lovely.
To be fair, the 98 Stanley Cup started June 9th.
Oh, God.
Luckily, it was the Caps and Red Wings, and it was over quickly.
Oh, man, that's just so wrong.
Started June 9th, ended June 16th. A week of hockey. Woo!
But it's just, it's just, the season is just too damn long. And, I mean, there's no way you'll ever be able to convince them to shorten it back up by even a couple of weeks so we could have the playoffs end in May. There's just no way. And it's a shame because, like most people that I talk to who are hockey fans, is just, unless your team is in the finals, I'll watch it if it's on, but, yeah. Now, obviously, I mean, the ratings are good. They're good this year, I guess. They're up, but I heard last year they were down a bit during the Kings and Rangers. I heard they were actually down, which surprised me considering the Rangers were in it.
And the Kings. You got your LA market too.
Yeah, the two biggest hockey markets, and apparently they weren't bad, but the ratings apparently weren't
it
as
probably
good
wasn't
as
as
they
big
were.
as they had hoped.
Yeah, well, the ratings weren't as strong. Well, because you didn't have 2 original 6 markets. That's why you only had 1. Chicago, Boston. No wonder the ratings were through the roof. No wonder. Good God. Good God. Hey.
By the way, you want to guess the backup goaltender to Chris Osgood in '98?
Manny Legacy.
No, sir.
Ooh, that was a good guess. I'm
Not
guessing it was still.
No peeking.
No, I'm not.
I saw you looking down.
I'm guessing it was still. God, now I can't remember who the goalie was in NHL '94.
Oh. It wasn't Mike Vernon because that was
Shovelday.
It was not Tim Shovelday.
and it wasn't Mike Vernon because he was the man
San
in
Jose.
'97. So yeah, and he was in San Jose the following season. That was a first, I have to say. Conn Smythe winner, boom, right off the very, not even 3 weeks later, off to a new team. Yeah.
The answer, and his name's engraved on the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hodgson.
Kevin Hodgson, yes, I remember him now. Yes.
Played for Tampa Bay, then played for the Lightning, and then
Norm
Miracle was included in the team picture, but was left off the Stanley Cup because there were too many people the Red Wings submitted to be engraved on the cup.
Nice.
They submitted
That's
55.
awesome.
The NHL was like, let's get this down to 52.
Oh, man.
And go from there.
No, you can't have the owner's wife on there. I'm sorry. No.
No, she was. She was on there because
she
was a treasurer.
Yeah. Treasurer.
Well, she's also considered part owner as well.
Yeah.
So
very good. A very clever way to be able to get her name on the Stanley Cup.
Exactly. And yeah, they had a couple people left off the list, but they all got cup rings. Miracle.
Well, here's a question. Here's a trivia question for you. Who is the only female owner to have her name on the Stanley Cup?
That's also the Red Wings too.
Yep. But I need the name, Scotty. I need.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of who the hell it is. It's when you say it, I'm going to be pissed off because I knew it all the time because Jen and I talk about it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Jen would probably know right off bat, wouldn't she?
Was it Norris?
Yep, that's the last name. Do you know the first name?
I don't know the first name off.
I'll give it to you because you know it's Norris. Marguerite Norris. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, 1955. She took over her father. I believe it was her father had died. I believe, and so she was interim owner at the time. But yeah, she is the only female owner, even hell, like you could say official, I guess, whose name is engraved on the Stanley Cup.
Fun fact. I'm trying to see if Jen. I know Jen and I had talked about it. I'm trying to think about whether or not she actually did a article or wrote something about her because I know she was interested in this whole in her life because she did actually did a lot.
I think she did, didn't she? I seem to recall reading about. I don't know if it was Jen or somebody else. Joe Peltier, who does the greatest hockey legends. He's also very much obviously into into the hockey history, if you will, and I think he may have done an article or a bit on her as well. But yeah,
I'll look for it later, and because it's a fun time for that. Well, she's got one about the unfinished Stanley Cup Series in 1919.
Yep. The great flu epidemic, which, yeah.
The Stanley Cup lore she did about You Are Here, the weird places it's been. So yeah, another one too. I kind of figured that she's done something, but whether it be on her website or somewhere else, it's just a matter of finding it. So
yeah,
I'll get to the bottom of it when I talk to her.
Quick, I got a quick question for you guys. Joel Ward is still keen to return to your Washington Capitals. Do you guys think he's got a chance of being re-signed?
Yes, for the right
Absolutely.
price.
2 years, $7 million.
You think he'll take a bit of a well, he'll obviously get a short term. I think he understands that given his age.
Yeah, I think if you give him just a little bit above what he made last year, then you'll be fine. I think that'll be suffice enough.
You don't think he might take a slight pay or a bit of a pay cut to stay? If he really wants to stay,
considering Mike Green's gone, but they have to put that money to Holtby.
Yeah. And Kuznetsov's got to be re-signed too, though he gets a bridge deal.
Yeah, he'll take a little cut. Absolutely, he will, just because I think he knows his spot in there. He knows that he can do well with this group of people around. So,
and he gets to play for 2 more seasons with Barry Trotz. So
yeah,
he has his best years with Barry Trotz, man. So with the Trotz man. Trotz man.
Lyle, speaking of the Washington Capitals.
Yes, sir.
What is this that I saw about Phil Kessel and the Washington Capitals?
Oh, I saw that too. I'll be posting it up tomorrow morning in my daily rumor roundup.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
I had a gambling. Yeah. Do you want to give the grim details there,
No,
Scotty?
because I looked at the title of the thing and I just went right past it, closed my laptop, and said I can't deal with this right now.
Yeah. Well, and it's actually from CSN Washington's Chuck Gormley, who's pretty sensible. Pretty sensible
He's on his
hockey
game.
guy. Let me see here. Hang on, I'm waiting for the automatic video to open so I can mute it.
This is CSN Washington.
CSNWashington.com. After sounds of people dropping heavy pieces of machinery or playing.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. Clunk, 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 clunk. No, he just mentioned it. He's not saying that that's actually what's going to happen.
I read Russian Machine Never Breaks had a little story, or had a headline on it. It's probably from the Gormley report.
He's just kind of musing out loud, but he says, unless a team can dump significant salary in exchange for Kessel, the field of suitors for the Wisconsin-born sniper will be a small one. I agree. As noted by Caps GM Brian McClellan, this year's crop free agents are thin. However, next year's crop of UFAs could be this summer's trade bait. And among the right wings who could be dangled are Shane Doan, Radim Verbata, Louis Eriksson, Jacob yeah, Jacob Voracek, nice try. And Kyle yeah, nice try. That's not happening. I was with you with Doan, Verbata, and Eriksson, but Voracek and Opozo, yeah, try again. And then there's Blackhawks winger Patrick Sharp. Well, the Caps reportedly had some interest in him before the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would see that before you would see Phil Kessel in Washington. Not that I think Phil Kessel wouldn't be a good fit. I think he would be a very good fit on the right wing with Ovi and Backstrom. He would definitely be that sniper on the right wing. They need that talented sniper. But listen, Barry Trotz is able to bring out, the best in his players and get them to buy into his system. So I think Kessel would be keen to buy in. I think he'd thrive there because because it's still Ovi's town. Yeah. So he wouldn't have to be, carrying the burden of being the star as he does in Toronto. So I think he'd be a good fit. But $8 million a season for the next 7 years? No. That's not when you've got so much, all that money tied up in Backstrom and Ovechkin. No, not happening. Not happening.
And there's no way in hell that the Maple Leafs take on any of that money. It isn't.
Well, I mean, I think they would have to in order to make such a deal work. They'd have to, but it's not just giving up the money; it's the return. What do the Capitals have that the Leafs would want? Evgeny Kuznetsov, obviously, they'll want him as part of the deal, part of the return. If they can't get Kuznetsov, the deal's dead because they will want a solid return for Kessel because they're rebuilding. So you think Kuznetsov? I don't think Burakovsky. They would definitely want Kuznetsov. Who else could they get from the Capitals roster, the current roster? You guys know him better than I do, so
I would probably think they would want someone like a Carlson or an Alsner, a defenseman.
Yeah,
I think.
one of the top choices.
Yeah, one of those guys. Probably Alsner. I think the Caps will part with Carlson. Yeah.
I don't think any of the minor league guys would be someone that they would be after.
Caps would have to give up a first-round pick for sure. First-round pick will have to be in there for sure. So Kuznetsov, first-round pick, and Alsner, let's say.
That's steep.
That's
but you got to look at it. I mean, Kessel is all the flack that he gets in Toronto and everything like that, but this is a guy. Like they said, there's only 4 players in the league who have scored more goals than he has since 2009, and Ovechkin's one of them. So, you got to pay. You got to pay for top flight talent. And as much as Kessel takes a lot of heat, he's still a top flight talent. And as I said, I think he would definitely blossom into being a complete player, playing for Barry Trotz. I definitely think he would. But
he'd be forced to. I don't think there would be any.
well, he'd have
culture.
no choice. He'd have to buy in right off the bat. But I also think, again, I said earlier, he would also thrive there because he wouldn't be the center of attention anymore. You know, because it's Ovi's town. So he could just go out, play his game, buy into Trotz's game plan, obviously, but he could just focus on that and not have to talk to the media if he doesn't want to, because it's Ovi's town. And I think he would thrive in that situation. I really do.
He'd probably be 6th or 7th down the depth chart in terms of pop and just whose talent it is, because you got Ovi.
Well, I mean hockey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Ovi, Backstrom, Holtby.
Okay.
Carlson or Alsner, whichever one stays.
Well, he'd be more notable than Carlson.
Well, not in that town.
But yeah, he would be. But
It wouldn't take long.
It wouldn't take long. Exactly. So, you know, but still, I still think he'd thrive there. I think he would. Oh, Jesus, 40, 50 goals a season easily on that line. And that, I mean, let's face it. Be honest, that would be one killer line. It really would.
Yeah,
But
I think Backstrom will have 173 assists on that line.
oh man, they'd be dynamite. They'd be lethal. That's for sure. And it would spread the scoring around. It wouldn't all be on Ovechkin's shoulders to do all the goal scoring. And now, as Patrick Sharp comes in on a breakaway and hit the post.
His trade
We
value.
can't have guys hitting the post on our team. We're not
There's-
interested in Patrick Sharp
There's
anymore.
enough people.
Oh man, Patrick Sharp's stock has really dropped this year, and especially in the playoffs. He has not looked sharp. And they scored. They scored, and was it Sharp who got his own rebound? I
All right, well,
think.
good for him. Hey, listen.
But getting back to what I was saying, if it was Sharp, but anyway, regardless, up until that moment, he was not having a very good playoff. He really hasn't. And I think
one goal does not a playoff.
no. And 5.9 mil. Oh, they're showing Jonathan Taze, so it looks like it was Taser who got the goal. But
He was the best player in planet Earth.
goddamn right. But that was 2 goalposts in this game so far for the Blackhawks. But this is the first time in this series too that it was Taze swats in the rebound from Patrick Sharp. But this is the first time in this series that the Blackhawks have opened the scoring.
Oh, Jesus.
So, there you go.
It's going to be good. You look at those Blackhawks go. Let's be honest. They don't want to go back to Tampa down 1-3.
No, you really can't. So, they're going to fight hard to tie this thing up. But anyway. But yeah, no. As I was saying, though, Kessel to Washington, not going to happen. The same as Malkin to San Jose isn't going to happen either.
We're getting closer, though.
Oh
Closer
my
to LA.
God! Well, Elliot Friedman got himself into a lot of trouble by saying on Friday he was on Calgary radio, Sportsnet radio on Friday, and he said words to the effect that the word around the league is that Malkin was unhappy in Pittsburgh and that he might welcome a trade. But he also followed up and said, "Oh, I don't see it happening, and if such a deal was to happen, it would have to wait until after the sale of the team, but I still don't see it happening." But regardless, the key thing that he had said was the word around the league, or the word that he had heard around the league, or from talking to people around the league, was that Malkin was unhappy in Pittsburgh. And that blew up in his face within 12 hours. He kind of sort of had to walk those comments back. Because, well, especially after Malkin's agent, said, "Hey, this is news to us." He said these rumors aren't coming from me or Chino. He said we don't know where they're coming from, and they're certainly not coming from the Penguins front office, because they were very adamant when the playoffs were over that Malkin, along with Crosby and their coach Mike Johnson and GM Jim Rutherford, would be returning next season. So there you are, but. Fun times!
Had by all.
The big names are starting to fly around now, which is to be expected. It's June 10th. We're into mid-June now. The draft is what? A little over 2 weeks away? Am I right? Nat, is it 2 weeks away?
26. So, Mark, when's your
26th.
birthday?
27th.
There it is. How far from your birthday?
2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks this weekend.
There you go. Happy birthday, Mark.
Hey, thank you.
You're going to celebrate your birthday at the draft. Damn.
I'm not going to be there.
Not going.
This
Oh,
year,
you're not going this year.
Yeah.
You got a wedding to plan.
Yeah. Gotta save some money, you know.
Hey,
Can't be
yeah.
Are we gonna have a lot of white people singing up at the altar? Because that was a great time for me at this last wedding I was at.
Singing?
Yeah, you're gonna have the Baptist thing. We're gonna have the white people singing.
Sure, we can do that.
Perfect.
I mean, we can just give you some tequila, and you could do that if you want.
Hey, joke's on you. I was already gonna do that.
God, how much money do you need to save for a wedding? Geez, you know, what do you need? Only what?
They're hiring, like,
$500?
They're having it in Charlottesville, Virginia, because they hired Dave Matthews, but he would only stay at his house.
Sure.
So they have to travel down to him, and that's how it's going.
Dang.
He's actually going to be the bartender, so that's the really fun part about it.
Bartender, please. And he's just going to sing that all night.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that'll just get annoying. It's really quick.
And then Scotty throws a tequila bottle and hits him on the head. and
Just
that's
throw a
the end of the song.
Molotov cocktail.
The flaming Dave Matthews. Yeah, there you go. Anyway.
Flamin' Mo. By the way, what's the deal with Johnny Drouin?
What's the deal?
What's the deal with Jonathan Drouin? They have a man, and I put him in the lineup.
Oh, they only put him in the lineup once. What's the deal?
Is he out of favor with this team right now? Like, is there something that he did wrong, or that they were doing right without him, that he is no longer like the prime prospect or the prime setup guy for Stamkos now?
What this is this is a kid who is taking longer to develop than was projected. I know. Steve Simmons of the Toronto Sun wrote. Well, he's been getting some mileage out of looking at any little thing that looks like there's trouble in paradise in Tampa Bay. I mean, first it was Stamkos' ice time and how he's not being treated like a superstar and he's not one of John Cooper's favorites, and that could have a bearing on his contract doc. And yeah. And then it follows up with, and Drouin isn't getting a lot of ice time, and he was told early in the playoffs that he wasn't ready yet, and all of this. Well, the truth hurts, because, kiddo, you're not ready yet. But it doesn't mean that he's a horrible player. It doesn't mean that he's a bust or anything, or that he's not eventually going to become a star. It's just, as we all know, some of these players take longer to develop. That, for heaven's sake, Victor Hedman took a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Now defensemen always do take longer than young forwards, but there's a reason why Drouin spent all of last season back with his junior team. There's a reason why he didn't see a lot of playing time this year, and there's a reason why he didn't see much time in the playoffs. It's because John Cooper's right. He's not ready yet. He will be. He shows a lot of promise, a lot of potential, but he's just got to develop, and he'll get that opportunity. It's going to take a little bit more time. Because let's face it, he was such a dynamic player. He and Nathan McKinnon playing on the Halifax Mooseheads, in their junior game, they were such a dynamic pairing that's all everybody talked about. And of course, when Nathan McKinnon, when he was, went on became Rookie of the Year last year and all of that, well, everybody expected the same thing from Jonathan Drouin. And they were all surprised when, the Lightning decided, no, we're going to send the kid back to junior for one more year. But why? Nathan McKinnon's playing in Colorado and playing great, but as I said, he wasn't ready yet. Doesn't mean he won't be someday, doesn't mean he won't be a star, but that's just all it is, And some people in the media, like Steve Simmons, I think they're trying to find something there that isn't there. There is no there.
I wonder if he would have been better off playing in the AHL this year.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah, I think he would have.
Granted, Syracuse didn't do much last year. Whatever, I'm just thinking out loud right now. I was looking at his numbers. The year after he was drafted, he had a career year. Mm-hmm. So, he obviously, I think that just put more fuel in the fire. That, hey, look, he played 3 less games and had 3 more points. Mm-hmm. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
And I think we were at fault too. We're just like, when Marty St. Louis leaves, here's the guy who's going to be the setup man.
Yeah. Oh, listen. Yeah, listen. I believe. And listen, I still think that's going to happen someday. But listen, things have changed dramatically.
With Tampa, though.
But Stamkos isn't going anywhere. I can tell you that.
I thought about Drouin.
And Drouin isn't going anywhere either. You know, he just finished the first year of an entry-level deal. He's got 2 more years to go. He's got plenty of time to develop. You know, we could be sitting here a year from now going, remember how everybody was making all this fuss about Jonathan Drouin wasn't getting along well in Tampa Bay, and da-da-da, and, oh, we didn't know if he was going to be there, and now look at him, he's a big star. You know, as I said, some players take a little longer to develop than others, and I think that's the case with Drouin, and I just think they're going to be patient with him, and they can afford to be, because the worst scenario would be rushing this kid into a scenario, you know, expecting him to be the top-line guy or second-line guy when he's not ready yet. Because how many young players have we seen whose careers suffered setbacks, sometimes irreversible setbacks, because they were pushed too soon before they were ready?
Can't push it too soon. Ladies and gentlemen.
No, you can't push too soon.
That's just the legend of life. Like, that's not even just prospects. That's just life in general.
Yeah. Yeah. And somebody's put a picture up of a poodle riding a tricycle.
Of course, because why not?
From Le Journal de Québec for all your poodle tricycle riding pictures.
What the hell? Like, what is the reasoning for that, I guess?
Slow news day. Greg Wyszynski's favorite question. Slow news day, Greg?
There he is.
Slow news day.
All right. What do you say, Scotty?
You ready?
About that time?
About that time, I think.
You guys ready?
We're past time.
You guys ready?
Getting ready.
You ready? You ready? You all hot and bothered?
Yeah.
Y'all hot and bothered by this?
Oh, yeah.
You're ready to go. You ready for this sexiness? All right. Taking a shot.
Taking a shot. Do you still want the Masterpiece Theater intro?
Sure.
Okay. What voice are you doing it in today? Or are you going to surprise us?
Do we have any suggestions? Did I turn off my mic inadvertently? Any suggestions?
Mark, do you have any suggestions for voices?
No.
Just gonna let it roll. Let's be surprised. Eh? Okay. So, hang on. Testing. Check. Testing. Okay. Taking a shot. Okay. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Scotty Waz Reads Hockey Erotica. This week, Scotty reads another extract from the book Taking a Shot.
She swallowed and cupped her neck, and then took a hard and a hard kiss, using his tongue to clear hers and leave her weak in defenses. And all she knew were the raging desires of her own body. He let go of her hands and she wrapped them around him, her nose digging into his shoulders, the passion building inside of her until she tore at him with her fingers, pulling at his shirt until he lifted his arms and she drew it off of him. She dragged her nails down his back and bit down on his bottom lip. He growled and jerked at her blouse, fumbling at all the buttons, until he got tired of it and whipped it to the sound of its buttons scattering across the marble floor, echoing on the spacious room.
Her brow went next! It too tearing as he lost patience with anything that was going to come off easy. He dragged his pants off while she removed her shoes and pants, sliding her panties off. Just as she finished getting naked, he pulled her into his arms. They got only as far as the living area before he laid her down and was on top of her, opening the condom package in a split second. Again with the fat condom.
Again with the packaging.
And then he was inside her. She cried out as he filled her, needing him so much that tears pricked her eyes. She blinked them back as he lifted up to look at her while he plunged inside her again, bending her knee to widen her so he could thrust deeper, so he could grind against her so intimately she thought she might explode. Gored her nails down his chest and gritted as he gritted his teeth, then bent and took one of her nipples into his mouth, flicking and biting until she came over and over, until she thought she'd die from unbearable pleasure. But he didn't finish. Instead, he held and waited
waiting.
Until the pulse eased and he began to move inside her again, taking her slow and easy, building the pressure again until she was right there with him. Yes, yes. And then he draped her legs over his shoulders, penetrated her deeply, arching against him, giving her everything he needed and more. That's right, more. She reached between her legs, rubbed her clit, and needing to go all over that cliff again with him this time.
Fuck yes!
He said, pumping into her deep and hard while she made herself come. This time, she climaxed. He went with her, dropping her legs down so he could put his lips on hers and absorb her cries, mingling them with his groans. It had been intense, earth-shattering, and at the time it cemented a bond between them she was afraid to acknowledge, but knew that was becoming stronger every day. There you go.
There you go. The Elmo voice was a little creepy, I gotta say.
A little much.
That was a little creepy. And again with the condom package.
So why are we going ahead and timing the condom ripping? I guess. Like, why? First off, what possessed somebody to do that in the first place? Second off, how are you able to time that so quickly? I mean, like, is he got a stopwatch on?
If I don't get this sumbitch out on here inside of 2 seconds, then there's something up.
Is his fuel band timing it? I don't know.
Oh man.
Well, that was fun. Ow.
That was
I hate that. That's the only. I think the only thing I don't like about this microphone is the fact that I hit myself in the teeth more often than not. So
you're just not used
pretty
to
bad.
It. You're just not used to it.
Nope, not usually. So there we go. Well, we're gonna have a fun time. Maybe by next week we'll have a Stanley Cup champion. If not, we'll be at Game 7.
Yeah, we'll be at Game 7. In which case, I will definitely have the full Robert E. Lee going by that point. So that'll be fun.
My dear Virginia Crabtree. I'll do that next time. I'll do man writing a Southern letter.
Writing a Southern letter as like Ken Burns is the Civil War.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My darling Virginia, you reach between your legs and rub.
Hey! That's next week.
Okay. Don't want to spoil it.
All right, Lau. We'll talk to you next week. I'll be another Canadian, just along with you again. It'll be good times.
Okay.
We'll be back.
We can bitch about more Canadian commercials that Mark will never see.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he doesn't care to YouTube at all. So it's not perfect. All right, Lau. We'll see you next week, brother.
Talk to you next week, guys. Take care.
Take care, Lau. There he goes. Lau Rich from thehockeynews.com. SpectorsHockey.net, PEI Island Guardian, and thebleacherreport.com. Mark, what do you got for shout-outs there, boss?
Shout out to Geoff for getting married this past weekend. My cousin Paul got married this past weekend. Shout out to Father Mike, actually, St. Joe, Father Mike. We're going to dinner with Father Mike tomorrow night, so I will tell him you said hello.
Yes.
I guess that's just about it for me. How about you?
Shout out to the Cat Eyes Pub, which is where Birth Mom works as a bartender. They had a good time there. It was a fun time gallivanting around Fells Point and Canton and all that stuff. Met another fellow St. Joe alumni who's technically who's my quote unquote brother, but is actually like a cousin. He graduated in 2004, so
how about that?
Fancy. How that all
we were there at the same time.
Exactly. I'm like, well, we just missed you by a couple years. That's a shame.
No, well, we were a senior when he was a freshman.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have paid attention to him anyway. So shout out to Lewis and everybody there. It was a fun time. Shout out to all my people back home in Calgary too. I got texts from them about just show of support and stuff like that. That was really cool to get. My girl Sammy, she's texting me. She's like, everything's gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome and stuff like that. So she was a beacon of light from back home. Shout out to Geoff getting married, being the final one of the 4 horsemen to get married. Of course, I'm the Flair, so I'm on number 2. Woo! And that's how it's gonna go there. Shout out to the Sheridan. Listen. Pay internet is not something you do at hotels anymore. Make it free, stupids. I'm tired of paying for internet. Garbage. Anyway. It's shout out to Stan. I'm going to be going to the game with him. Tamara. We're gonna have an early Father's Day thing and do it that way, and
Very nice.
should be a hoot of a time. Went to a game last year, going this year, so it's really cool. We're gonna be bleacher bumps. It's gonna be fantastic.
Awesome. That should be good.
It should be a good one. So that's it. That's all. Let's get the hell out of here. For Johnny P, who's probably on a flight right now, maybe, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Mark with a C, who's right there. And I'm Scotty Watts. Take care of yourself and someone else. It's been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com, which is also our Tumblr. Check us out on Facebook at FOHS Radio. And the Twitter is FaceOffHCKY Show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
Goodbye.
it. Goodbye.
Have a good
See
one.
you next week. Peace.
Mm-hmm.
Nice mustache.